Governor Newsom wants to fast-track a tunnel under the Delta to send water down south. We travel to the small town that would be ground zero for the major construction project.
It leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
Why neighbors say they're worried about what the tunnel will do to their town.
Do we get a benefit out of it? Oh, no. Somebody is, but it's all going down south.
Plus, new surveillance video of a shocking shooting in Fisherman's Wharf.
I heard the first pop, that got my attention. The second pop, I knew it was gunshots.
We'll hear from witnesses who heard it go down and saw the suspect taking off. And soccer royalty descends on San Jose.
I think it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
We'll meet fans who flocked to the stadium hours early, hoping to see Lionel Messi take the pitch in person. And later, it's not your average cheer team. We'll take you behind the scenes with the Warriors senior squad as they fire up fans at Chase Center.
This is CBS News Bay Area with Juliette Goodrich.
And good evening. We begin with new video of a deadly shooting near Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco. It was captured on surveillance cameras. Take a look. The shooting happened in broad daylight at the tourist hotspot. A man with a gun seen running down the middle of the street. You can see that video. We'll show it again. Kara St. Cyr joining me in studio now to break it all down, and she's talked to witnesses and has the surveillance footage. Kara.
Right, it was shocking video. It was a major crime scene at the intersection of Columbus Avenue and North Point Street. So that's where the shooting happened, but police found the victim's car blocks away near Leavenworth and Beach Street. Officers say he died at the scene. So here's another look at that dramatic surveillance video taken from a business across the street. So you can see the victim's car and the man with what looks like an AR-15 style rifle. He runs into frame, still with the gun, trained on the vehicle. After that car drives away, the suspect casually walks away from the shooting scene, gets back into his car, and drives away. All of this happening in an area that's known for tourists, buses, and the cable car turnaround a block away. One witness said that she'd never seen anything like this before.
Once he was in vision and he was going to get in the vehicle that he left in, I saw a very large gun, like a rifle or a shotgun, and obviously put the pieces together, was like very startled and shocked. Yeah, I think when you see a large rifle like that, I mean, where my mind goes is like a mass shooting, especially in this day. So that's where my mind immediately went. Luckily, he had taken off really quickly.
While police were responding to the shooting, they learned the suspect turned himself in. He's now under arrest. Still no clear motive on what exactly led to the shooting. Police say they're investigating.
Yeah,
Juliette.
It is so unclear as to why, but at least he turned himself in. Certainly we'll get answers as it unfolds. But that witness certainly must have been pretty had rattled nerves. She was terrified. She said she'd never seen anything like this before, and she didn't expect it in that area. Yeah, no, that's a tourist attraction. Yeah, all right, Kara St. Cyr. Thank you, Kara. Good work. Other big story today, California is back in a budget hole. Today, Governor Newsom released his revised budget plan that shows the state is facing a $12 billion shortfall. The governor's proposal calls for cuts to some health care programs and state worker pay. But one area he wants to charge full steam ahead, a controversial Delta tunnel project. The plan is to build an underground waterway to bring water from the Sacramento area down to Southern California. Its two intakes will be located near the tiny community of Hood. And locals there told our John Ramos they're worried the construction could tear their town apart.
This is the little town of Hood, California. It will be ground zero in the effort to build the Delta Conveyance Tunnel. And with fewer than 300 people, they don't have a lot of political clout. But the feeling about this project is pretty much unanimous here.
Typical small town, everybody knows everybody.
As mayor, Mario Moreno presides over the 271 residents of Hood. The sign is a little out of date. Some people have left. But those who remain have a pretty universal feeling about the plan to place the Delta Conveyance Tunnel project here.
I don't know anybody that's really for the proposed project.
Hood will literally be in the center of the project with huge intakes a mile above and a mile below the town. The plan is to drill a 36-foot wide tunnel 100 feet below ground to send water from the Sacramento River 45 miles to a pumping station to be sent to Central Valley farms and Southern California cities. In his budget briefing today, Governor Newsom talked about how vital he thinks it will be for the state's water infrastructure.
One of the most important projects in the United States of America. They're one of the most important climate adaptation projects in this country. We've got to move that project forward and learn the lessons from the high-speed rail.
It's interesting that he mentioned the lessons of high-speed rail, because in Hood, they're worried about how long a huge project like the tunnel boring operation could affect the town's future.
They said 10 years, 8 years, 10 years, but we know by state government and stuff that they've either built that are major infrastructure projects, whether it's a proposed high-speed rail or the East Bay span. Rebuilding takes way longer than they anticipated.
But beyond the construction headaches, residents here fear a loss of their way of life.
Having these giant tunnels right in our backyard, and it's going to take the landscape away. I mean, who wants that? This is not a city. This is the country, and this country should remain how it is, you know?
It just takes something away from you that's real big. Like, that's pretty mighty, you know, it is. It's pretty majestic for all of us. You know, when it rains, it talks. When it thunders, it talks. And when the water gets high, and you know, we kind of enjoy it a little bit of the, you know, how it all works out here. And so they're going to come along and put some screws to it, you know.
Newsom summed up his feeling in his announcement, quote, "We're done with barriers. Let's get this built." And to do that, he says he intends to simplify permitting, limiting protests and legal challenges, and increase the state's authority to acquire land for the project. That bothers Aaron Pruitt and his son Mason, who operate a thrift store and antique warehouse in the town.
And now they're just going to put their big thumb on it and say, oh, this is the deal, and you have to accept it. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
All of this will be destroyed by the hands of those who want to destroy the laws that bind and protect us in our Delta. It's truly sad, because it's a lot of people from my generation that are going to feel the effects.
The truth is, no one really knows what to expect when construction begins. They only know that whatever is done here will not be with them in mind.
Do we get a benefit out of it? Oh, no. Somebody is, but it's all going down south.
And they know that having the governor describe them as barriers lets them know where they stand when the state starts taking water from their river.
The price tag for the Delta Conveyance project is now estimated to be $20 billion. That's up from the $16 billion projected in 2020. The tunnel project is facing fierce opposition from Newsom's own party. Assemblymember Rhodesia Ransom, whose district includes much of the Delta, said she's launching an audit of the state's Department of Water Resources. Ransom says the project violates both water and property rights. She released a statement today that reads in part, quote, "Let's be real. This is a $20 billion water grab that shifts wealth from San Joaquin Delta to wealthy Southern California interests. This would steal our water and harm the Central Valley's Delta." So back to the budget. In January, just 4 months ago, state leaders said they had mostly balanced the budget for the upcoming year. But as we mentioned, today the governor said his office is projecting a $12 billion deficit. So what happened? Well, Newsom blames the shortfall on uncertainty caused by President Trump, saying that his tariff policies and likely cuts to Medicaid have had a negative impact on the state. Newsom described it as a Trump slump.
California is under assault. The United States of America, in many respects, is under assault because we have a president that's been reckless in terms of assaulting those growth engines. Has created a climate of deep uncertainty.
This impact causing the state to make tough cuts, particularly to the Medi-Cal program. Newsom's new budget proposal will block undocumented immigrants who are adults from enrolling in Medi-Cal starting January 1st, and will add a $100 premium for undocumented patients already receiving coverage. Tonight, it is maybe the most anticipated soccer game in the history of San Jose Earthquakes, but it's all because of who's on the other team. Lionel Messi and the Inter Miami are set to take on the Quakes in less than 90 minutes, but fans, they've been out all day. Amanda Harry is outside PayPal Park right now. Hey there, what an assignment you had. What's it like out there?
It is very, very busy here. I've been here all afternoon, and this crowd has been huge. This game is sold out, and before the gates opened, this line went all the way down the block with people trying to get in. I spoke to some fans that say they even took off of work and school to make sure they could enjoy this experience to the fullest.
No bags, we're gonna have you form a single file line. Anybody with beverages, I need to...
Hours before people were let inside PayPal Park and staff was still preparing for the crowds. Some of the most dedicated fans were getting to the stadium early.
We've been here since 12 noon, a couple hours ready in advance.
For Juan Landaverde, soccer is his life. He played since he was a little kid and continues to play recreationally to this day. He didn't want to risk missing out on this opportunity to see the San Jose Earthquakes take on Inter Miami CF.
Took the whole day off. I don't know if that's proud to say, but yes, we took the day off.
He's hoping to see one of his idols, Lionel Messi, get in the game.
Everybody knows this. He's bigger than LeBron James. He's bigger than Stephen Curry. He's bigger than Patrick Mahomes. Soccer is a worldwide sport.
Messi's participation is a major draw, a phenomenon known as Messi mania. Messi is widely regarded as one of the greatest soccer players of all time. Fans have been camped outside of his hotel at Santana Row in hopes of catching a glimpse of the superstar. Maya Kekis-Peshak and her 2 sons stopped by before heading to the game in hopes of catching him walking out and maybe getting a signature.
Got the Sharpies. We're hoping. Chance of a lifetime.
They drove all the way up from Carmel by the sea.
And they bowled me out of bed at 4 o'clock this morning to be here as early as possible, and thank goodness I was honest with their teacher. You better say hi to Mr. C.
Her 2 sons had to get their grades up to earn their opportunity to go to the game. She says there's no question who they'll be rooting for.
Unfortunately, we got to cheer for Miami. It's just we got to cheer for Miami.
And Landaverde agrees.
Go Messi, and we still love the Quakes, but today it's all about Messi.
Despite this being a home game, some fans tell me the San Jose Earthquakes may actually feel like they're away because there's going to be so many fans cheering on Messi.
Ooh, all right. Well, stay tuned. We'll see what happens. Thanks, Amanda. We'll check in with you again at 7 o'clock. All right, still ahead here at 6, we're going to meet members of the Warriors senior dance squad who aren't letting age get in the way of a good show. They probably can do the splits.
They don't treat us like we're grandmas or anything. They treat us like equals, and they're just the best.
No, I didn't do the splits. Plus, Waymo pumps the brakes. Why the robo-taxi company is recalling thousands of vehicles across the western United States. Oh, terrible. Waymo is recalling most of its self-driving cars after some minor crashes involving road barriers. The voluntary recall will include a software update for over 1,200 Waymo vehicles still operating on the company's 5th-generation software. Waymo says federal auto safety investigators discovered the issue after several robo-taxis collided with chains, gates, and other road barriers. No injuries were reported. It is win or go home for the Warriors in Minnesota tonight. In about 15 minutes, the Dubs will take on the Timberwolves in Game 5. Fans at Thrive City are arriving for a watch party, hoping the team can keep its season alive. The Warriors are once again without Steph Curry. He is still recovering from a hamstring injury. A fan we spoke to says he wants to see more from the other players.
We need everybody to step up. Pods need to step up. Moody needs to step up if he plays. JK got to stop doing the turnovers, and Butler needs to step up too.
If the Warriors do keep the series alive tonight, Game 6 would be Sunday at Chase Center, and that would mean at least one more performance for a dance squad that knows a little something about keeping the faith. Our Laureen Ayub introduces us to one dancer who is excited to perform for the team that inspired her to chase her dreams.
When it comes to basketball, half the battle is often faith and positivity. The same can be said about dates. Today we're introducing you to a Warriors dancer who hasn't allowed any obstacles to stop her from her dreams.
rehearsing for an NBA playoffs performance. It's something dancer Annie Nishita with the Hardwood Classics says she could only dream of growing up. Now the diehard Warriors fan and dancer is living up a new chapter in her life.
I can't believe that it's been a dream come true. I always watched the Warrior girls when they danced and wanted to be like them.
And now, at 68, she is one of them. As the senior squad prepared to grace the court during Game 4 between the Warriors and Timberwolves, Annie says the positivity of the Warriors community gave her the courage to join the team, even without prior dance experience. She says team director Sabrina Ellison always believed in her.
Sabrina picks the best people. She doesn't pick anybody that's going to be a diva or going to think that they're better than somebody else. She picks people like her who are open and full of love and acceptance, and I think that's the way the whole Warrior organization is, actually.
And it is that passion that fuels them right before they perform.
All right, this is the tunnel the dancers are about to walk through. All the hard work, it's right here. Let's check it out.
Annie says she loves showing other women that age does not have to define you and that it is never too late to follow your dreams.
No matter how much experience or how good that we dance or how old we are, they don't treat us like we're grandmas or anything. They treat us like equals, and they're just the best. The whole dance community here at the Warriors is really just a big, huge family, and we all celebrate each other.
A team that believes, no matter the circumstances.
Yay! Annie is one of the longest-serving members of the Hardwood Classics and is in her 7th year. Bravo. So cool.
Temperatures today return to basically where they're supposed to be this time of year, within 2 or 3 degrees of average. On the warm side, inland, a couple degrees below normal, closer to the water. More of a warm up for those inland communities tomorrow. We're tracking how long it will last coming up in the First Alert forecast.
A grass fire sending smoke over San Jose earlier this morning. Our chopper was over the fire that broke out in the area of Story Road and Remillard Court, not far from Happy Hollow Park. So the fire burned about 15 acres, but crews were able to knock it down pretty quickly. They were mopping up into the afternoon. Fortunately, no one was hurt and no property was damaged. Well, you don't think that we're going to see fire. Well, I guess we see it anytime.
The middle of May. I
right
mean,
now?
especially those grass fires, the fine fire
Yeah.
fuels dry out so fast that
Right.
it's possible. I mean, already you've gone from green hillsides around the Bay Area to that golden color that we associate with
starting.
summertime.
Mhm.
The bigger plants take a little bit longer to dry out, but we're getting to that time of year.
We are.
Let's take a look at the big picture weather pattern. And we are going to have some offshore winds that are going to kick in by early next week. Let's track the wind pattern as we go from Saturday through early next week. Now, on Saturday, we are going to feel a stronger onshore breeze kicking back in. That's going to be part of the reason why our temperatures are going to be a little bit cooler for the second half or the first half of the weekend. But into early next week, as the storm system kind of squeezing the atmosphere overhead slides by to our north, the winds pivot. Not a complete offshore wind event, the wind running more parallel to the coast, but it's going to be enough that our temperatures are going to warm up. And even at the coast, you should see the marine influence being nudged just a little bit farther offshore, which means coastal temperatures should be warming up a little bit as we head through the first half of next week, at least. Not, again, a full-fledged offshore wind event, but still something that we're going to keep our eyes on, along with an outside chance of a couple of showers as that storm system slides by to our north. That's still a few days off. Right now, just a few fair weather clouds on the horizon. Temperatures anywhere from 58 degrees in San Francisco to 72 degrees in Concord, 71 degrees as well in Livermore. Otherwise, temperatures have retreated into the 60s. As we go through the rest of tonight, we are going to see some fog trying to reform. Let's take a look at that on our floor map. And the fog is going to be pretty confined to coastal parts of the Bay Area for most of the night. Well after midnight, it's going to try to spread out a little bit more, maybe making some progress into the inland valleys of the North Bay. Don't think it's going to cross over the Oakland Hills and make its way inland into the East Bay. And the fog should pull away from the coast as we head towards mid-morning already. We should see plenty of sunshine kicking in even along the coast. It's not going to help temperatures a whole lot. Coastal highs right around 60 degrees. That onshore breeze still definitely with us. Mid-60s in San Francisco, though. It's a couple degrees above normal. 71 degrees in Oakland with temperatures in the North Bay, 70s to near 80 degrees, and mostly low 80s east of the Oakland Hills. These numbers are on the warm side for this time of year, but only about 2 to 4 degrees above average. 78 degrees in San Jose is 4 degrees above normal, right around 80 degrees for both Los Gatos and in Morgan Hill. Temperatures aren't going to change a whole lot on Friday, but we are going to see some more changes as we hit that first half of the weekend. The winds the next couple of days, pretty consistent. The strongest gusts aren't going to last all day, mainly just late afternoon into early evening, mostly in the 20 to 25 mile an hour range. If anything, Friday might be the slightly windier day, but the stronger onshore wind doesn't kick in until we get into that first half of the weekend, and that's when our temperatures really drop off. Look at the 10-day forecast for San Jose, a 10-plus degree drop off from Friday to Saturday, but then we warm back up for the second half of the weekend. So it's a one-day cool down, and then we settle into the 80s in the Santa Clara Valley for most of next week and even into Memorial Day weekend. A warmer than normal pattern likely for the holiday weekend. And again, that cool down on Saturday is associated with an outside chance of a couple of showers. Most of us, what you probably see is a few sprinkles on the windshield. I don't think we're looking at a significant chance of any kind of measurable rain, but we can't completely rule it out. It's just a few years ago that we had showers and thunderstorms for Memorial Day weekend, so we'll keep an eye on that just in case. Let's take a look at the forecast for the next 7 days. At the coast, you're going to hover right around 60 degrees through the weekend, and then a modest warm-up by early next week into the low to mid-60s Monday through Wednesday. The warm-up Bayside is going to be a bit more noticeable. The coolest day for everybody is going to be on Saturday. Bayside highs only in the mid-60s, but you're up into the lower half of the 70s Monday through Wednesday of next week. With inland temperatures, you get the biggest ups and downs. Temperatures, as I said, about 10-degree drop-off from Friday to Saturday. But then we recover most of that lost territory already by Sunday, with even more of a warm-up by Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. Not a full-fledged summertime feel, no triple-digit heat, but it'll be a little warm.
I was just thinking how fun this week is. We've got the Warriors, the Valkyries, the Earthquakes, this guy named Messi in town.
Yeah, Giants are playing a home series as well. The A's are back in town for a weekend series.
That's right.
We got a lot going on.
All right, very fun. Okay, thanks. Just had to mention that. Okay, when we come back, how Oakland is raising support for the Valkyries ahead of the season opener. Plus, here's a look at what's ahead on the CBS Evening News.
I'm Jim Axelrod in Washington Crossing, Pennsylvania, where a pipeline had been leaking jet fuel into the water supply, and where some people say their complaints about it were ignored for months. That's coming up on Eye on America.
Kind of match. So fans and local leaders in Oakland gathered in front of City Hall to watch the city raise a flag to the Bay Area's newest sports team, the Golden State Valkyries. Fans that came out got to shoot some hoops and take home a custom Valkyries rally towel. Valkyries rally towel. It's just in time for the team's first game of the regular season at Chase Center this Friday. We spoke with one of the fans, Nam, who says he's so pumped that the Bay Area finally has a WNBA team.
To see women's sports come to the Bay in this form is absolutely groundbreaking. You know, I think it's a first step toward big things. I'm going to be there on Friday.
CBS News Bay Area is home of the Valkyries. More than 30 games will air on KPIX and our sister station KPIX Plus. We'll also have a weekly show with behind-the-scenes access. You can also enter for a chance to win 2 tickets to the Valkyries Mystics game next Wednesday night at Chase Center. Just go to kpix.com/contest. Enter the word Valhalla. That's right, Ballhalla, Valhalla. You can enter each day until Monday at 11 o'clock. I'm sure we'll remind you again. We'll see you after the evening news at 7 o'clock with more local news just for you. Thanks for joining us.